What's up, YouTube? It's Ferg Tactical. Today, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the Glock 43X because it is a gun that a lot of you new shooters, first-time gun buyers tend to gravitate towards. And I kind of want to talk about some of the pros and cons of this gun and what you should look for if you're buying this gun. And yes, it is clear, so I'll be in the comments tripping. So this is actually a gun like a lot of new shooters tend to want to buy. I have spoken to now like maybe 5 or 6 of my friends that have helped get their first gun. This was on their list at some point and it quickly came off of it. Now, before we get into it, I'm also gonna be comparing it in a later video to this Glock 48, which is its cousin, really more like its brother. They're the same.
Hey, chill out.
They're the same exact frame, but this has a longer slide. I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons of each in a later video, but I'm gonna give them each their own respective reviews. Now, in terms of modifications on this Glock 43X, this is the gun that I got my girlfriend. This was her 21st birthday gift, and this.
Sorry, I'm done. This is gonna make your editing so much worse.
This gun only has a TLR6, as you can see there, and then there is a back plate on there that says 43X.
There we go. Got it. All right.
And for what it is, this gun is amazing in terms of what it does because it's very light. You can still get, I have fairly big hands, but I can still
That's an understatement.
I can still get a pretty good grip on this gun. I mean, I get a little bit of pinky that hangs off, but
exactly why I said that's an understatement.
It's really not bad for what it is. I mean, reliably, you get 10 rounds in this gun. You get this stock magazine that comes 10 rounds, typical Glock mag. There are aftermarket options. Now, they make shield arms mags, which are full metal. They make it 1.5 stack, which holds 15 rounds. So basically, this thing is a slim Glock 19 in that configuration. Like this, it really is a slim Glock 19, honestly. Glock 19 is a little longer, both in barrel size and in grip, but they're very similar in terms of that. So essentially, if you decide to change it to one of the 15-round mag options, which is either A, shield arms, which their magazines are all metal. The only problem with that is you have to change out the mag catch, and all this on their magazine will be metal. Now, the issue with that is you have to upgrade this to a metal mag catch. If you do not, it will mess up your mag catch. It'll chew it up and you won't be able to use, those mags with the stock mag catch. So you have to upgrade it to the metal. The problem with that is once you do that, you cannot run your factory mags because if you do, it will chew all of this up on the magazine right here. So it's kind of like you have to pick which one you want. Now, my thing is I'd rather have 10 for sure rounds than 15 maybes. And that's because the shield arms I've seen, they're pretty good in terms of reliability, but I have seen some that work and some don't. I would much rather prefer to run stock magazines. The only aftermarket mags that I run for everyday carry in my guns are with stock configuration and a Terran Tactical base plate because I have put hundreds of rounds through my guns that have those and they work fine. Not saying the shield arms can't run fine because I've seen people that have some that run fine and some don't. That is a personal preference for you. On the other side of that, you can go Palmetto State Armory. Palmetto State actually has a magazine that has a front polymer part on it right here, so that way you don't have to change out the stock mag catch, so that way you can just use it in stock configuration. I may get some of those to try. They do look a little weird though because the front is like this and then the back is like metal, so you can see it when the mag is sitting in the gun. As you can see, there is a little separation, and that kind of bothers my OCD. If there's another color thing sticking out, it kind of throws the whole gun off. So it shouldn't be a big deal because you're just carrying the gun, but still, So if you are a first-time gun buyer and you're looking at this gun, it is a great gun. I jog with this gun. When my girlfriend and I go jogging, this is the gun that I carry at nighttime because it's so light with the 10-round mag. Even with the light on there, it is a very light gun. You can jog with it, no problem. This is a gun I love to jog with. But every person I've taken shooting that wants to buy one of these automatically goes no. And the reason being is because this gun is kind of snappy. If you don't have proper fundamentals and you have not been shooting long or it's your first time shooting, it's not a necessarily fun shooter. It's a lot snappier than other guns that are a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. Another gun that's extremely snappy for a lot of new shooters is like a Hellcat, and even some people don't like the P365, but I mean, they're smaller guns, so when you're getting a gun this size, expect it to have more recoil. But this gun in particular has a decent bit of snap. Now, if you do decide that you want to buy a 43X, the pros of buying one is that they're light. You can get mags that hold 15 rounds in this configuration. The barrel's thin. You do get front and rear side serrations. The sights suck because they're metal. We got to change those out. And the thing is that these actually don't have a rail for a light. So I was trying to find an option for my girlfriend to be able to carry a light on this gun initially. And I'll show you what I landed on, and it wasn't a great idea. I would not recommend it, but I'll tell you that in a second. What I would recommend is if you are buying a 43X, get the MOS. It already comes pre-cut for an optic, and it comes with a rail. So your lighting options are a lot less limited versus to what it is with just the 43X that has no light cut and no rail. I think now they do make the 43X with a light cut but no cut on the top, which is not an MOS. I don't know what they call it, but they do make them now with just the cut on the bottom. So let's say you buy a 43X and you decide that you want to put a light on there. You have really two options. Number one, this little piece here is an add-on rail from Recovery Tactical. You see it right there. And honestly, it makes this gun really thick. I think I have a picture of it. I took it off a while back, but I think there's a picture I have somewhere. I'll put it up on the screen if I do. But it adds a lot of length to the bottom of the gun here. You can see just that alone, like it sits on the actual frame, but the light now, instead of being mounted to the frame, is mounted on this. So when you put something like an O-light on there, it becomes a very thick piece that protrudes down quite a bit, and I don't like it. It adds a lot of like bottom heaviness because of where the light sits. And we had an issue with this actually, with this particular light. If you see here, there are still a couple teeth on this light sticking out because the way these O-lights work, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of O-light, but they do work for what it is. This thing slides on, right? So you can kind of adjust where the light sits. That's how it sits on the gun. And when my girlfriend was shooting it a couple times, this light has literally shot itself off. She'd be shooting it, and after one mag, the light would just go yeet, and it would end up like a couple feet down range. You're like, whoa, that's not good. And that's ultimately what made me take this off and put on the TLR6, because this right here is not a good thing. I feel like if you're using the gun in a self-defense scenario, and you say you do need the light, right? If it yeets itself off in the middle of the night, like, you're kind of screwed. So that's not a good thing. And then I also don't like how much girth it adds to the gun. On the other side of that, if you decide you don't want to go with this rail, and you can pick another light, obviously. You don't have to go with no light. This is a Balder Mini, but you don't have to go to no light. You can go to another light on this. I just don't like it because you're adding a plastic piece onto a gun to the amount of light. It clamps onto the frame. The same way a TLR6 does. Here, as you can see, it mounts onto the handguard and onto the frame, and it pinches itself on there. If you're gonna go TLR6, get the HL. The HL is a lot brighter than this. I think this one's only like 100 lumens. It does have a laser. The HL, I think, has 300 lumens. I'm not 100% sure, but it is brighter. But you're really limited to the light options for this gun if you don't get the option with the rail cut on the bottom. So I would definitely suggest going MOS if you get this gun. But overall, I mean, this gun is really reliable. It is a little more prone to limp wristing because it is snappy, and that is a thing I see with a lot of Glocks. People limp wrist them, and that does cause them to jam at times. But aside from that, this gun is really reliable. We haven't really had any hiccups with it. I think only maybe 2 or 3 jams due to people limp wristing it. But for the size and what you're getting, this gun is amazing. I wish Glock would come out with a magazine by themselves that is 15 rounds. Because it's OEM, you know, you get OEM reliability. That's my only gripe with this gun. There are other options. I just don't like running aftermarket magazines for carry guns. Like I said, I'd rather carry 2 mags and be able to do a reload versus, you know, having to worry about if the mag I have in is gonna jam or not. And I said not all of them are problematic, but some of them are. And for those of you who are wondering, this is a slimline Glock, so it's not necessarily a Gen 5, but it basically is a Gen 5. It has the Gen 5 grip texture, no finger grooves like the Gen 4, it has front and rear slide serrations. So what you're getting from this gun is very good, especially for the price. I've seen some of these as low as like $450 to $460, but you can usually find them right around the $500, give or take a couple dollars. But I would really suggest going with the MOS. And honestly, if you're a little bit worried about this being snappy, I would push you more towards a 48, because in terms of concealment, the main issue is going to be the grip for most people. The length you can kind of hide, it's not as big of a deal. and the 48 does take away some of that muzzle flip. But yeah, I mean, it's a very simple review on this gun. If you guys have been looking at getting one of these, I would just suggest before you buy one, go shoot it. Like, go to the range. I have a video that I put up. I took one of my friends to the range and helped him pick out his first gun. So if you do need help trying to find your first gun, that video can help you go to the right direction. But before you buy this, go and shoot it, because a lot of people I've taken do not like it, especially if they are new to shooting. This is not necessarily a pleasurable gun to shoot for most people. I don't mind it, because I used to carry a Glock 30, which is chambered in 45, and it's a subcompact. Now I carry a P10C, but I switch that out between that and my Glock 22. So I tend to carry guns that are a little bigger and a little more snappy than this would be, so it's not a huge problem for me. I kind of like how this shoots. It's, you know, pretty soft shooting in my eyes. But comparing how I shoot it versus my girlfriend, it's a little more snappy in her hands. Yes, you're laughing behind the camera, because with her, you'll notice the difference. I'll see if I can also put in a picture of her shooting it versus me. But
I still shoot it better than most men. So.
oh, for sure, for sure. But you know, just the wrist strength isn't as good as most men. So like, you know, but
I gotta practice. You know,
she's still a good shot.
Strengthen the wrist.
Real quick to talk about holster options, right? So let's say you want a good quality holster company that you want to be able to fit the light that you get. Not every company is going to have light options that can fit this with their holsters. So you have to look for one that specifically says, if you get the non-MOS or non-rail cut 43X, you need to find one that if you get a light, it has to say that it goes with the recovery tactical rail, because if you don't, it won't fit, because like I said, this adds a good bit of girth to the bottom of the gun. So you can go Insane Kydex Creations. I actually took this clip off of here and put it on this holster, but Insane Kydex Creations, they make very good holsters. I have probably now like 4 or 5 holsters from them, I think, for various guns. They make great holsters. I'm not at all sponsored by them, but they do make a good product. Another one is Slim Fit. This was the second holster I got for her because she wanted a different color and they had a deal at the time, so we went with this one. And this one's really good too. If you carry in sweatpants or like shorts a lot, like I do, I recommend getting the DCC Mono Block, because it has like a claw in there that kind of hooks into your pants when you draw. So that way you don't have to worry about the holster coming out with the gun, which tends to be a problem with people who carry in like sweatpants and stuff. These are like foolproof. I've been using these for like 2-3 years now and they work really well. And lastly, this one is a Tolster. This was made for the TLR6. So those are all, and you can see it's engraved right there. It says Glock 43X TLR6, and the brand is Tolster on this one. So if you are looking for a good quality aftermarket holster, for sure with the Glock 43X that is non-MOS, and you have something like this set up, or like the TLR6, you can go Tolster, Slim Fit holster, Insane Kydex Creations, and also another one I like to use is Foul-Tac Unlimited. There are other great holster brands that I own, but those are the ones I predominantly use. I get a lot of comments and questions asking, hey, which holster should I get for this gun and whatnot. So yeah, that pretty much is it. So please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any other questions about this gun or any other guns you want me to review. Thanks for watching.